What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, checking out a brand new number monster that just got revealed. This card should be released in the TCG for Battles of Legends in July, and I think that's we're pretty close to having all the number monsters at this point. Like, I know that there's probably still a few of them out there in the wild, but I think that we're definitely getting close to having all of them. You guys correct me if I'm wrong about that. Anyways, this is number 6, Douglas of Forgotten Time. This is a Fire Fiend Sea monster. It's rank 4, 1200 attack, 1200 defense, and it just requires 2 level 4 monsters to summon, so it is completely generic. Shoutouts to decks like Lunalights and ABC and all the other decks out there that can go into rank 4s fairly easily. The effect is a hard once per turn, and it states that you can detach 2 materials from this card, then activate one of the following effects. So I guess the first one is you get to draw 2 cards, then discard one, but skip your next draw phase. The second is special summon one monster from your graveyard in defense position, but skip your next main phase 1. The third is make the current attack of one face-up monster you control become doubled until the end of this turn, but skip your next battle phase of your next turn. This card is excellent, right? And I kind of like just the theory and concept of this card. Douglas actually reminds me of Utopia Double. The risk with Utopia Double is potentially drawing the brick double or nothing, but the reward is obviously being able to resolve that double or nothing with your Utopia and having a 10,000 attack beater that can just close the game out. Essentially, it is a risk versus reward card. This is a card where I look at those effects, all 3 of them seem pretty good to me. I mean, basically, you're either getting like a more powerful kind of Dark World dealings, you're getting a monster reborn, although the monster has to be summoned in defense mode, still useful, or you're just getting kind of like a Utopia double effect where you're doubling the attack of one of your monsters. All of those effects seem incredibly useful for a multitude of decks, but they do come at a cost. All of them had those huge drawbacks of during your next turn, you end up losing out on a phase. Now, the thing about it is, if you kill your opponent during the turn you use this card, none of that actually matters. Like, who cares about skipping your next phase if you just kill your opponent? And that's why I'm looking at this card, especially in decks that have a whole lot of offense, right? Like, if you're playing this in Lunalights or you're playing this in a deck like Cubics or something like that, those are decks that can easily OTK you. I mean, think about it like in Lunalights, right? We know Lunalights can easily go for rank 4s because they will summon Tiger King pretty consistently. That first effect, or the draw kind of Dark World Dealings effect in Lunalights, that's amazing because you're talking about now drawing 2 cards, discarding maybe a Danger or a Lunalight Perfume, Serenade Dance, Zephyros the Elite, some of the new Lunalight monsters that float. All of those are like excellent discard fodders. Even the monster reborn in Lunalights is pretty damn awesome. And then obviously if you can make your Leo Dancer 7,000 attack, like, that's just nuts. I do wish that, like, I was looking at it from a cubic perspective, and cubics would be really good with the draw and discard effect because cubics have a lot of cards that activate in the graveyard. I wish that the cubic Nova Lord, the Crimson Deity, the real big one, I wish he could actually be affected by this card, but as far as I can tell, he can't be affected because he's unaffected by monsters that are less than 3,000 attack. But really, when you kind of give us a new generic rank 4 and you give it 3 really good effects, that card's probably going to see some play. Yes, I know that there are downsides with this card, but in a lot of those kind of aggressive decks, if you kill your opponent, the downside won't really matter. And I also think, last thing, I think that skipping your main phase 1 isn't really that big of a deal because you still get your battle phase, and of course there is the main phase 2, so most of what you can do in main phase 1 you can just do in main phase 2. I mean, I guess you can't activate Extravagance, but that's like the only thing that comes to mind. Anyways, this is an excellent card, very high risk but very high reward, and I think that Konami needs to make more cards like this. Anyways, whatever you guys think of number 60, Douglas of Forgotten Time, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos. Oh, also, it's pretty good in ABC as well.